Hello, today I'm going to be sharing my Agatha Christie collection. I have lots of different editions, old and new. First, I'll share these cute little bookmarks that I got from Etsy. And this one, St Mary Mead, the Blue Ball Inn. I have this collection of 4 Miss Marple novels: The Body in the Library, A Pocket Full of Rye, A Murder is Announced, and The Moving Finger. Looks like it was published in the 80s or something like that. 1985 edition. Here I have a new edition of the ABC Murders, one of Harper's fancy new edition, very nice. I have 3 of these old pan editions. I have a Miss Marple one, The Body in the Library, which is a good one. I've liked this one, I read it recently. Poirot Investigates, very cool covers. Not my favourite Poirot so far, but good cover. NRM, this one was okay. Fun, but a bit silly. I have this fancy edition of The Mousetrap, which I haven't read yet because I want to see the play first, but it has extra material such as stuff like the history of it and stuff like that, and letters, so that'll be fun to read once I've seen the play. I've got 3 of the newish paperback editions. They've since changed Poirots and Marples, I think, but I prefer these older ones, slightly older ones. So we've got a Poirot, Sad Cypress. They have the little Poirot moustache. I've got The Pale Horse, which is a standalone. The cover here, I don't know if you can see, but the spine has bled into the cover, which is a bit of a shame, but other than that, nice cover. There's a Miss Marple, which is St Bertram's Hotel, and it's got Miss Marple's sign. It won't focus, but it's got Miss Marple's sign, there you go, but I'm not sure how that relates to Miss Marple, but that's her sign. I have an old penguin, which I keep in this little plastic thing that I got from eBay, and it's a Mysterious Mr. Quinn, which is short stories with, I haven't read it yet, but he's obviously a lesser known detective of Agatha Christie's. Slightly randomly, I have Hercule Poirot and the Greenshaw Folly. Nice little edition. It's actually an earlier and shorter version of Dead Man's Folly, which I haven't actually read yet, but I thought this would be fun to read. And it's got little illustrations. I've got Black Coffee, which is a play, and Agatha Christie obviously wrote a lot of plays, but I think, I could be wrong, but I think this is the only play she wrote that was a Poirot play, and the rest were sort of standalone, so that'd be fun to read. It's quite early in the Poirot canon as well. So I have Agatha Christie, The Grand Tour, which is her and her first husband sort of on a tour, and her letters and diaries about that experience. We also have some Folio Society books. I have The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, which is an older version. Not that old, but not sort of different to the newer versions they have. But it's still available on the Folio Society website. So this is the cover. Just trying to find an illustration. Here we go. That's cool. This is going to be the one I read next. So I'm looking forward to that because I've heard it's one of her best, if not her best. I've got Crooked House, which is the newer covers they're doing. And it's very nice cover. Illustrations, there's actually one at the start, very nice. Yeah, I really like this illustration style. Little black cab. And I have Sad Cypress. Nope, sorry, this is not Sad Cypress, this is Sparkling Cyanide, rather. And find an illustration. There we go. It looks a little bit like the Queen, but I'm sure it's not. On to my facsimile editions, which have sort of collapsed, but all good. No worries. So there's facsimile editions, and there's a few types of facsimile editions that HarperCollins has done over the years. There are these bigger kinds. So the bigger ones have a black sort of undercase. So I've got Miss Marple's Final Cases and the Mysterious Fair Styles. These two are different from each other because this is sort of shiny and this is a matte. But then there are the slightly smaller hardbacks, and I have The Secret of the Chimneys, which is not my favourite Agatha Christie. Partners in Crime, which is short stories, Tommy and Tuppence, is okay. Man in the Brown Suit I read quite a while ago, I can't remember much about it. We have Murder on the Links, which is a very good one. It's the second Poirot. The first Poirot was Secret Adversary. First Poirot was A Mysterious Affair at Styles, which is also one of my favourites. I've just shown that. Murder on the Orient Express. Now, Secret Adversary is Tommy and Tuppence's first book, and it was also very good. I have the Listerdown Mystery, which is one I have not read yet. And Then There Were None, which is the first Agatha Christie I read, and obviously a very good one. It's the first one for a lot of people. It's very well known. Some of the facsimile editions, smaller ones, have these on them, and the ones that have these on them are the ones that were sold separately at bookstores and Amazon until very recently. They've run out of print, and they started in about 2012. The ones without the slipcases, most of them, so for example Elephants Can Remember, came in with magazines about 2012, and they came as part of a subscription, and I got 14 of them online with the magazines recently. Got Nemesis, got by the pricking of my thumbs, which I bought in a charity shop for only £1.49. This is the only one of the fast meals that I got from a charity shop. 13 Problems. This is probably my favourite short story collection I've read so far from Agatha Christie. And it's a Miss Marple. We have Murder at the Vicarage, which is Miss Marple's first novel. Came out in 1930, 10 years after the first Poirot. And I like the characters in this one, especially the vicar and his wife. They're very funny. But the actual mystery, not my favourite. A Secret of the Chimneys, which I'm reading right now. I've been reading it on my Kindle, and then this came as part of the 14 I ordered from eBay, so I can transfer and start reading the rest of it in hardcover. I have Witness to the Prosecution and Selected Plays. The other plays in here are Towards Zero, Verdict, and Go Back for Murder. Have Appointment with Death and other plays. And the other plays in here are And Then There Were None, Appointment with Death, and The Hollow. I also have The Mousetrap. Again, I bought my other edition of The Mousetrap first, and obviously the other edition has all the extra material, but this one is a nice edition nonetheless. I have While the Light Lasts, which is a short story collection that was released in the 90s after Christie's death, but most, if not all, of the stories in here were not published beforehand. They were published the first time in the 90s, so that's interesting. I have another edition of Miss Marple's Final Cases. This is in the smaller Fascamil edition. I bought the larger one first with the red case. I have Agatha Christie's autobiography, part 2 and part 1, and these are quite large for Agatha Christie. I think in total, putting them both together, they're almost 700 pages, so that should be interesting. And I have Curtain here, which is Poirot's last case, and I look forward to that one once I've read a few more Poirots. Lastly, here to show you, I have the magazines that came with the 14 that I bought on eBay. So we have the one for Secret Chimneys, and I'm reading this one at the moment. It's the sort of thing they have in here, completing the canon. Obviously Poirot was still going on in 2012 when these came out, but it was on its last seasons, so they were talking about that. Very interesting. Scene of the crime, sort of overview, but I don't think it has any major spoilers. The suspects, they do this with all of them, these nice drawings of all the suspects from each book. Old editions, there's the pan, and I think this bit is all about what was going on culturally when whichever book was written, like what was happening at the time. Obviously this Secret of the Chimneys was the 1920s, so Balkan politics and all that stuff. That's what you expect from all of them, basically. Very nice magazines. So I've also got Seven Dials Mystery and Secret Chimneys are kind of sort of like a duology. They're both set in the same house. Elephants Can Remember, Nemesis, While the Light Lasts, The Mousetrap and Other Plays. Miss Marple's Final Cases. Curtain. Biography Part 1. The Labours of Hercules. The Listerdown Mystery. Witness for the Prosecution. Appointment with Death. And this is her biography Part 2, but it's titled Index because it was the last of the magazine collection. It'd be nice to collect more of these at some point, but for the moment I've got a lot of reading to do. Hope you enjoyed my collection. I'd love to hear what books you've read and enjoyed from Agatha Christie, and what kind of collections do you collect. Do you like to keep one of the same edition, or do you like to get different editions for each book and have a mismatch like me? Thanks for watching. Bye.